Good to see you, Teaspoon. Thoughts on the machine price? Thank you, Cartoon. Actually, I was going to talk about that too. I was going to talk about the Steam machine price. Do you guys remember all those videos I made wherein I was like talking about how, you know, this administration is going to be bad for gamers and like their taxes will be bad for gamers and how the tariffs are bad for gamers, and then how like the tariffs in conjunction now with the use of AI is bad for gamers? And then you remember how I was called like an alarmist for saying that shit? And then now you look at the Steam machine price and it's, you know, which website will I utilize today? I feel like I use Kotaku too much. Valve Steam machine ships June 29th, which is very soon, which is actually in 7 days from now. And then, whoa, wait a minute. Does that should say $1,000? That should say 1,049 USD. Hey, real quick, what is the game coming with this? Let's see what's coming with this. The Steam machine's almost here. Valve chose possibly the worst time to announce new PC gaming hardware. True. The TV friendly game PC will go on sale for $1,049. The Steam machine will come in two variations, one with 512 gigabyte storage and more expensive 2 terabytes. They'll retail at one. Okay, straight up, for a base model, 512 gigabytes, making me pay over $1,000 is fucking insane. That is insane. That is an insane. I don't care how big of a Valve fan you are. I don't care if Gabe Newell pulled you out from a burning fire. Not even 1 terabyte, 512 gigabytes for a console that I don't even think comes with a controller. Right. And you'll be able to bundle the Steam controller with either for an additional $79? $79 for a controller? Bro. Nah. Both versions of Steam Machine will run a custom 6-core AMD Zen 4 CPU with a peak clock of 4.8 gigahertz. The integrated AMD are so this basically sounds like it runs on like a base like PS4 then, right? PS5 Pro is 900 with 2 terabytes. See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you might as well just get a Pro. Because I think these specs are like base PS5. Maybe even a little bit worse. Actually, it performs worse than the base PS5. You know what? You know who would have the answer right there? I know my guys at Digital Foundry. We're not gonna watch the whole video, but we'll just see the specs.
PlayStation.
It's not necessarily a comparison between graphical fidelity. They're talking about frame timing and frame rates. So it's how stable. It's how stable it's running, not necessarily how like good it looks. We're at the point where any new technology that's going to come out is going to look relatively similar to other technologies because we've reached the point of diminishing returns in terms of graphical fidelity.
5. Larian did
besides like
update
Nintendo
Baldur's Gate
games
3 for Steam Deck, significantly improving CPU-bound performance and stability. But I'm wondering if those optimizations were deck specific to the detriment of other PC hardware. Put simply, if you're playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Linux, on SteamOS or on Steam Machine, I'd recommend switching to Proton here. It's an automatic 11% performance boost in this test versus the native Linux app. Graphics chasm, right?
What about
Alan Wake 2 isn't available on Steam, of course. I got it running by using the Heroic launcher installed in Steam Machine's desktop mode. Yes, it is a Steam machine, but we've got to remember that it's not just a console-like experience. Under the
Let's do the comparisons here. Let's see
what's going on behind the scenes. Ultimately, though, we've got console-class performance here from Steam Machine in a unit that's a fraction of the size. It'll run modern games well, assuming you don't go crazy with ultra settings, especially on Unreal Engine 5 titles. And that you keep in mind that Valve only supplies 8 gigabytes of memory for the Steam Machine GPU.
Jesus,
Yes, there are
only 8?
optimizations there, and as work is ongoing there at Valve, I decided to test this in depth at another time. But reasonably, we can only expect these mitigations to go so far compared to a GPU with more RAM.
You know what
I
think?
RDNA 4 and
I think that you have to wait on this.
Everything together.
I think you gotta wait on this.
Revealed, the question was all about price and performance. Based on specs, we've arrived with a piece of hardware that pretty much runs as expected, and that's fine. Technology-wise, it doesn't shift the needle, but I love the package. The form factor is
because
beautiful, and it's
the price
together, virtually silent, basically.
It's AI's fault, to be honest, though.
Now, back at the reveal, there were hopes that Valve was going to attack the market with an aggressive price point, $500 even, bringing a PC-style PlayStation 5-level device to market with an appealing form factor that would work in the living room. But that was October 2025. In the meantime, Valve's made it clear it's not in the business of subsidizing hardware in the way that a console manufacturer might, and it clearly doesn't have the sourcing power of Microsoft or Sony. So in June 2026, we've got a machine that starts at $1,050, and it's going to be up to you to decide based on everything you've seen across this.
Okay, thank you, Digital Foundry. So here's my takeaway from all this, right? Here's my takeaway from all this. I never thought this shit was going to cost $500, $600, even $700, because I see that every time you see your Steam mention global situation, I go, gee, what could it cost that? I mean, all I'm saying is because only about...
I don't like AI. I don't...
Only about 1.5 people saw it, but your boy was always anti-AI, especially in the space, because it's going to increase the price of everything. If you have a RAM shortage, if a memory shortage, that's because of AI, right? So everything becomes more expensive. But in particular with Valve, I never once thought this shit was gonna be lower than $1,000, because even if the RAM shortages didn't happen, that we had no problem with memory, they would probably still charge you $1,000. They mentioned it in the video, but I think this gets missed a lot. Valve is not, it's not Sony, it's not Microsoft, it's not Nintendo. They can't subsidize the hardware. They don't have another revenue source or streams that can like eat that cost, right? And Valve has never been the company to release products outside of like maybe a couple of games that are affordable. When like the Valve Index came out, it wasn't like that shit was comparable to a console. Like the Valve Index right now is still $1,000. Like even just the headset costs as much as like a Switch. But if you want the headset and the controllers, that's $749. If you want the whole VR kit, that's $1,000. They never, like a replacement controller is at $200. They were never going to release this shit at a reasonable price. I mean, look at the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was, how much does Steam Deck cost? Steam Deck is like $800. The Steam Deck is a handheld and it's $800. Still, it's $800 for 500 gigabytes. Basically $1,000. You have to obviously factor in taxes and what have you. It's over $1,000 for 1 terabyte. This costs more than PS5 base. This costs more than Xbox One Series X. This costs more than Nintendo Switch, I think 1 and 2. This costs more than PS5 Pro. They were never going to give you a deal. And the reason why, I think it's twofold. First and foremost, like I said before, they're not in the business subsidizing. Valve is ultimately an enthusiast company. They don't need you to buy this because you guys are buying all this shit through Steam. So they're making like $1 billion off every sale. So they don't care about that. And so because of that, this is my second point, they are using their goodwill. Valve is going to get that. Valve is going to get the Rockstar treatment. It's going to get the Grand Theft Auto 6 treatment, where people will justify the price because of the company. Regardless, if there's no exclusive to the Steam machine either, right? Like it's not like it's a traditional console where I'm buying a PS5 because I want to play God of War or Lawfare, or I want to play Wolverine. or I'm buying an Xbox because I want to play the new Gears of War game, or I'm buying Nintendo because I'm playing the new Zelda or Mario game. There is no system seller for Valve, because Valve's games are available on Steam. As long as you access Steam, you can play those games. They're not going to put a game on just the Steam machine and nowhere else. So already they have kind of in a way removed themselves from the competition. Every time they make a sale, and don't be fooled, people will buy this day one. It is going to sell out. It's pure profit for them. They're not selling at a loss. So every time someone buys it, and there will be a huge amount of people who buy it day one. We know early tech adopters exist, right? They're gonna make their money. Valve has no reason to try to be the good guy here. They have no reason. It's time to seek the means of production. Like, and you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about this? And I might get shit from like the gamers online, but Gabe Newell, I think Gabe Newell owns a yacht. He owns a fleet of super yachts and research vessels that cost around $1 billion, or at least the estimated to be $1 billion, right? Like, Gabe Newell is not some broke boy. $500 million for his centerpiece of his armada. Like he has multiple yachts. People were coming from the Bungie guy for multiple cars. Gabe has multiple yachts. Gabe Newell is a rich man. But you will never see people being like, wow, this guy with obscene amount of wealth is releasing a product that costs an obscene amount for the day-to-day person, right? Like, he got a Forbes fucking article about him. It's a 363-foot yacht. Gabe, I love the Mighty Chiefs gift where he said Gabe Newell does nothing and wins. Yeah, here's the thing. People will be like, my Lord Gaben, right? Every time you see like you see this meme, right? Of how they deify him. I know it's a joke, but like, I think some people kind of truly think this, where Gabe Newell can do no wrong. People fall in love with these corporations. And I always tell them, stop doing that shit. Stop doing that shit. Gabe Newell could, like, if he was really for the people, he could sell this shit at fucking like $700. He could sell it for $700. He's not going to, though, because he doesn't need to. And if I were him in his position, why would I do that shit either? He gets unlimited grace. Like, he gets unlimited grace. Literally, Gabe Newell could do no wrong in the eyes of pretty much every gamer. Steam is the best storefront. Steam is the most ethical storefront. Steam is and it's like, dog, Steam has issues. Steam's discoverability fucking sucks. And the amount of games they allow on Steam that are just asset flips are insane. But there's no real moderation on Steam. So people who put their product on Steam, unless they have a big publishing push, are just rolling the dice. And Steam, with its resources, could have a much more robust moderation and exploration and discovery system. They could. But they fucking don't, because they don't need to. If I go to my Steam page right now, popular new releases: Bingle Bingle, Cozy Cleaner, Treasure Beach, NTR Idol, a hentai game, Think for Application, another, I guess, sexual content game, Swap Meet, Zenless Zone Zero, Mole, Warriors of Lust. Popular upcoming. I know of Impulse. I've never heard of Dear Boy. I've never heard of Train 45 or Succubus Successor. I have heard of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I've never heard of Mold Washer, Summer at Smile Cafe, Mistfall Hunter. Well, Mistfall Hunter actually has the demo. But a lot of upcoming games on Steam are games you've never heard of. And this isn't even tailored towards me. Like, if we go to my, let's just see my discovery app right now. My discovery queue, okay. Gamble with friends. Don't know why this is relevant to me. I don't play multiplayer games. Okay, I might do that. Not Subnautica. Mecha Chameleon, Burgling Gnomes. Okay, besides James Bond and Adventures of Elliot, none of these fucking games speak to me. I don't play. It doesn't even say, like, here, Gothic 1 makes sense because I've played Elden Ring and Witcher. But if you see the rest of them, none of them have been games I've played. Like this one, because I played Final Fantasy Rebirth and Exorcist 33, another RPG. That makes sense, right? But like, these aren't even similar. This one's Batman, so I play Batman games. But like, most of these aren't even similar to games I've actually played. I ignore most of them. Look, my personal calendar, a personalized for you list of new upcoming games. I have no interest in this and this and this and Impulse, because again, I don't play multiplayer games. Vampire Syndicate, never heard of, oh, because it's NSFW. Like, why is this made for me? I don't fucking know. Most of these games aren't even a genre that I even participate in. Like, of all these, I might play Echoes of Ancrad when it's on sale. But I have no interest in I have no interest in any of this shit. Now, based on the games I played all these games. Like, I've already played Deathloop. I've played The Messenger. I played Hi-Fi Rush. I own Have a Nice Death. And they could do a much, much, much better job at having a more specific field. They could have a more like, I'm glad you're showing your Steam, because I was wondering if I was getting these sort of suggestions, but I'm getting the same ones. Yeah, that's my whole point though, right? Like, you know how many games get released on Steam with dog shit discoverability? There are better ways that they could do stuff here. And they have the resources to do it. But all of this to say, Gabe Newell will never get any criticism from the gaming side at all. Even though these people claim to be on the side of consumers, they will, for the most part, justify this. They will justify the consoles costing at base $1,000, well, $1,049 plus tax and controller. If you want a controller, that's additional $80. Is that common for Steam to have games like that? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Steam has, without question, the most slop, like, just out there. And with the addition of AI generated stuff, there's a reason why a lot of games I didn't play on Steam Next Fest, because there was so much AI slop on that shit. Like, there was so much AI slop. I can't play this. But it's Gabe Newell, but it's Steam, so they'll be fine with that. I do not fall in love with corporations. I may be fans of creators, like developers and teams, but like, I'm not beholden to any fucking corporation. That's why when people are like, oh, put this game on the Steam storefront so I can buy it, I'm like, dog, why are you so cucked by Steam? It's okay if you guys have the Epic store. Guess what? It's not that big of a deal. You can get people, oh, but the game's only released on here and not released on Steam. Do you think it's like, that's the thing I hate the most too? Again, going people saying like Steam's like has a virtual monopoly, right? And I'm like, you're telling me you were a big fan of, let's say, oh, Alan Wake. Let's say you were an Alan Wake fucking fan. And the only reason you're not buying it is because it's not on your specific storefront. These storefronts are like 300 megabytes. They don't take that much space up. Like, I think it's idiotic and insane. People go, well, I can't play because it's not on a Steam storefront. No, you don't get it. If it's not on Steam, I can't play. And it's like, dog, does the Epic Store have the same issue as Steam? No. Epic Store was slow to add certain features for sure. But like, I'm sorry, people were trying to say they didn't like the Epic Store because it didn't have the Steam cards. I'm like, get fucking real, dog. Be so for real. I've had a Steam account for literal decades. I have never used the Steam trading cards. Like, who cares? They have the ability to wish list. They have the ability to find games. Epic Games is a better deal for the developers for sure, because they get a better split. And you know what the best part about this shit though too is, for me personally, they give you free shit from time to time, and sometimes the free games are cool, like Citizen Sleeper. Top new releases, you still have sales, you have top sellers, you have games that are trending, new releases, top player rated. Like, it gives you options, and you can also just search the store. You can just type in the name of the fucking game you want to play, much like Steam. But people act like, no, if you use the Epic store, if you use Epic, well then you're asking for your game to fail because it's not available on Steam. Why is Steam the only storefront you use? Why are you so beholden to these companies? Like, it's so crazy to me. Like, guess what? Do I give a shit if Xbox is losing money, or if Sony is losing money, or if Nintendo's losing money? No. You want to know why? Because I'm not invested in their company. I'm a consumer. I am for consumer rights. I am for consumer protection. I am for the consumer, which means, even though a lot of people who don't like me don't think this is true, I am on the side of the gamers, because the gamers are the consumer. But anytime I tell them to stop worshiping companies and publishers, everyone gets on my ass. It's like, well, yeah, EA's bad, but it's not. But Activision also bad. Oh, but Valve also bad. Do not love these corporations. Assume they're all bad. Okay? Assume they're all bad. Do not attach yourself to these corporations. They do not give a fuck about you. There's not a single corporation that cares about you, okay? Not Nintendo, not Disney, not Marvel, not Sony, not Valve, not Insomniac, not any of them. And they produce a lot of my favorite games, and I know for a fact they don't give a shit about me. So stop putting so much of yourself into these companies.